bullied very badly in high school, and not only
Right.
that, I was through, I got into very abusive relationships emotionally and physically as well. And so for me to find someone who was very sweet and loving, it was
Right.
hard for me to give him, you know, uh, like sometimes I had trust issues and he didn't deserve that. He didn't deserve to
Right.
feel like I didn't trust him at times. So,
Right.
it's
It
just,
makes sense. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it does. It's just, it's really cool to think that, through like the hard things, we can become better from them. We learn from them to become better in this life. And even though it's really, really hard, and sometimes we could be down and put ourselves down, because even for me, for days, I put myself down thinking I'm such an awful person when I shouldn't be, because I'm who I am, I myself.
Right.
So,
Right, definitely. And yeah, like for me, I feel like this is just like a 3 days ago kind of a thing, and I feel like this is rough, and it's just like it's the whole experience is pretty much very fresh, it's still very new, and like you just gotten out of it, and I don't know, man, like it's just something that you got to like learn, like I feel like every single experience is something for you to like learn about, and as long as you get the positive things out of it, I think that is most important. And I really like about like how you like kind of like empathize the whole situation, like being able to like kind of like understand that like certain things like didn't work out for a certain reason or whatnot. And yeah, like to start this whole show proper, this is I like how this is going already, this is the Tea with Jack Loh show. And yeah, today we have a new guest doing this whole uh I found her like through the just chatting genre, and we just do this whole podcast together, and I hope you're cool with that. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
cool.
definitely cool with that.
Yeah, definitely. And like something that you mentioned about is like being yourself, I think that is like super important, like especially like getting through this type of relationship thing. It's like you got to like not accommodate too much, you got to be yourself, like you can't be like accommodating too much. Like you, let's say like you got to be like doing something so much more for like the other person. You got to say who you are as a person, because that's what is it about, like being who you are, because that's what makes you happy. And like, yeah, what do you think about that?
I definitely think I mean, we, everyone deserves to be happy. And
Right.
so, it doesn't mean that we're a bad person if we can't, if the person that we're in a relationship with, if they're not happy, we can't be blaming ourselves for them not being happy, because we are who we are.
Right.
It's, we can respect each other and we can move on, and then we can find someone that can be better for us, you know what I mean? And but everyone deserves happiness. Doesn't mean that if it doesn't work out, it doesn't mean that they're an awful person in any way. Or and I feel like
Right.
in most relationships, it's common for people to put other people down or put the other one down.
Right.
It's so easy to, once your heart is broken, to immediately call them names. But to me, I feel like if you truly care for somebody, even after a hard breakup, you wouldn't want to say hurtful things, or, make them look like they're a bad person, and put their character down. It's not,
Right.
no one deserves that, I feel like.
Right, definitely. That something that pops up in my mind right now is that like misery just loves company. Like there's times whereby people who are sad, they usually like the people around them to feel sad too. Like misery just loves company. That they will just bring people down like along with them. And like yeah, I just feel that is such a bad move for people to do towards like each other, because like you're hurting someone, and it's not good. And yeah, like what do you think about like this whole relationship thing that you went through, like at like this whole experience, like what's like your biggest takeaway, like because like this is the topic that you like to actually like talk about, like what's the hardest thing that you really want to like share about this? Yeah.
I think for me, the one thing that I took away from myself
Right.
is, you learn a lot about yourself when you're in a relationship with
Right.
somebody. I know for me, I kind of noticed a lot of, a few negative things that I need to change in myself. Not necessarily him calling me a bad person,
Right.
but me, I could see in some moments where I'm like, okay, I need to change some things about me so that I can be better next time.
Right.
Because he was more sensitive than me, but
Right.
I just didn't really think about that at the time because I am who I am and I've been through what I've been through. So
Right. Right. Right.
um
Definitely.
so for me, especially with that, I took away that maybe I should have, you know, been a little bit more sensitive at times or was more open to listen to him when he was upset. And but I know for me that I do have some I get very defensive pretty fast, especially if it's about my character, and I feel like that is because of the bullying that I went through in high school. And I feel like it's
Right.
normal for someone to defend who they are and get a little bit upset. Um, but with him, with the person that I was with, he couldn't emotionally handle confrontation.
Right.
And so I feel like, in a relationship to be able to try to understand the other person. So, that you guys can communicate and work things out a
Right.
lot better. And I feel like that's something that I took away from that relationship.
Right.
Even
Definitely.
though it's really hard, to let go, but you just got to move on and be happy with who you are
Yeah.
and not put
Definitely.
yourself down.
Yeah, I feel that there's like a lot of like understanding from your side, like looking at the this whole situation in a bigger picture, that like, or what was like your shortcoming and that kind of stuff. I feel that that is like a super important move for yourself, because I personally, I don't have like gotten into like a relationship or what's or not before or what's or not, but I can relate to this a lot, like because I play this video game, it's a 5-man video game that I got to play with like 4 other guys or what's or not. There's times where like people get pissed off about each other, and I relate to that a lot, because this
Yeah.
this whole this whole situation, I resonate with this a lot. Like, people will get upset and they will like not like talk about it, and when I try to like confront them about it, they tend to be very dodgy about it. Like they don't want to like really talk about it because they're saying that, oh, I'm just here to have fun, I'm just playing this video game or what's or not. Like they don't take it like super seriously and or what's or not. And like when it comes to confrontation, I feel like it's such a good move, like because we're saying like on even ground, like saying that, okay, like let's talk about this, like what's wrong and whatsoever. And like I think that's like a good time to actually bring everything up, like what's bottling inside of you, like what are the things that you're so upset about, and uh like what did I do wrong, and we can talk about it, and so that like we can actually like fix the problem. I feel like this is sort of like in a relationship, it's pretty much like a teamwork thing, like you
It
you
is.
you guys got to work together to solve this problem together. But if the other party doesn't have the intention to do that, like that things just like a bit rocky. I'll say, yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, this doesn't have to just go for only relationships. It can go for friendships. It can go with family,
Right.
with
Right.
anything that you can bring and apply into your life, So, uh, especially with, I don't know if you're familiar, but I know for
Right.
me as a girl and trying to make friends with other girls, it's really hard sometimes because,
Right.
um, uh, through my experiences, I feel like, we could be a little more emotional, a little more judgmental. And so,
Right. Right. Right.
and it's easy to kind of, go around and talk bad about somebody. But, I think it's really important for anyone or even for me to know is that if that ever happens, that, how would the other person feel that they are being talked about?
Right.
Why not go and talk to them and be like, hey, this is what I heard. What's going on? And try to get the full story before you make everything worse. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Right. It feels
And
bad to be
so,
talk back about, like without you even
yeah,
knowing. That's a shitty thing to do. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's just trying to get to know the other person, how they work, um, can really make a difference not only in your life, but in their life as well. So, I
Right,
don't
right.
know.
Definitely. I can relate to that a lot because I don't think this is like a go to go friendship kind of thing. Yeah, I think it's just all around, like boys to boys as well, like guys to guys as well, and it just happen everywhere. I feel like being honest about like everything that you kind of like do is super important. Like you don't talk shit about people, behind their back or
Yeah,
what's or not, because it's just not nice. You
it's not nice.
yeah, like you're just like, I don't know, kind of like gossiping in a sense, like you're just talking like behind people's back, and it just brings nothing but just just drama, I'll say. Like people
Mm-hmm.
just gonna like,
Misery,
yeah, and
hate.
yeah,
Yeah.
these topics is just like so meaningless. Like why not just straight away just confront it? And I feel that like it definitely comes down to a lot of like insecurity for a person to like kind of like gossip, because that person doesn't dare to like talk about it, like confront about it, and like get an honest answer about it. And I feel that it's pretty much a bad move. And I feel like a lot when it comes to ourselves is to just to stay strong, mentally,
Mm-hmm.
physically, or what's or not, for certain things like this that happens, and so that like the next time it does happen to you, like you're strong for it. And yeah, like how do you think about like yourself, like mentally wise, like are you strong, after even after like going through this whole experience that you just went through? Yeah.
I would like to think that I'm strong. I would like to think that everyone can be strong through really hard situations that we go through.
Yeah, I definitely think
There's
you do.
always,
Yeah.
yeah, I think there's only, there's two ways where we could go. Either we put ourselves in a deep hole of, depression and we would put ourselves down,
Right.
or we can better ourselves from it and learn from it, be better, and then help other people as well. And I think that's the better route and the more happy route. And I'd rather do that one than be depressed and miserable. Because trust me, I've
Definitely.
been there and it's not fun.
Definitely.
So
Definitely. I think where we're going is about like perspective, like do we choose to look at the bad things or the good things? There's always times where you can look at the, I don't know, like there's this very hot picture that like did went viral, was like about the glass thing. Like are you seeing like the glass is like as half empty or like half full or what's or not? Like it's about this perspective, like how you look at that thing. Like if you want to choose it or to look it at the positive side, you get to do that. And yeah, like so like you did talk about like becoming like on this rock bottom situation or what's or not. Like yeah, talk to me about like that experience. Like what do you learn from that? Like how did you went through that to become like the better version of yourself like today or what's or not? Yeah.
when I reached the like the hardest time of my life and how I kind of came out of that.
Yeah, because I think you briefly
Yeah.
did talk about that, like you going like depressed or what's or not. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like, for every single person in this life, it's more like a roller coaster where we feel like we're going up and we feel like we're doing okay, and then we're
Right.
going to go down, and then we're going to hit rock bottom, and then we're going to have to keep trying again. And it's just this constant cycle of like this up and down situation, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so for me, when I hit rock bottom, I hit it hard. And it was because of of missing somebody, or missing of how I felt,
Right.
or maybe he made me feel, a certain way. Maybe he made me feel bad for how I acted, and then
Makes
I
sense.
was just like in this constant. I was just confused. I was like, well, then how should I be? How should I act? How so I know for me, when I
Right.
hit rock bottom, it lasted for a full year, and I
Right.
thought
It
it would
takes time.
never get better. It takes a lot of
Yeah,
time.
it takes a lot of
And I
time.
feel like the one thing that I learned was, every time I saw my mom, she always wanted to make sure I was okay.
Right.
Even though I wasn't, she wanted to make sure I was okay. And every day that happened to me, I started to realize that not only was I affecting myself, but I was affecting my family, I was affecting my friends, and I needed to stop. And so
Right.
that's when I decided to make a change because I felt like I was being selfish. I felt like I was being miserable and sad over some guy who made me feel worthless when no one should make you feel that way. No
Definitely.
matter what gender you are, you shouldn't feel that way. You should be happy.
Right.
And so it took me a full year to get out of that. But when I did, I had to just try my best every single day to get better.
Right.
And it it took a long time.
Right. Love it.
So,
Love it. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. For this whole thing, I love whatever you're saying, like I feel like towards like this type of stuff, like I think where we're going is like, taking a step back mentally, physically, for like however long time we like to do it, to actually kind of like mentally reset for every single thing. I feel like through this, because I look at life in many aspects of life, like yeah, sure, like physically or whatever, we're saying that we're moving a step backwards, yeah, but I feel like towards other aspects, like in terms of I don't know what to call it, spiritual wise or
Mhm.
mentally wise, I feel like it's giving us a lot of space to think, have a better perspective about things, like you saying that, like you having the perspective of like being grateful for your family or whatsoever. I feel that that's such a big step of like looking into like a whole new light, for yourself to be okay, and that you can actually try hard, like not thinking about things that is not say does not matter, but like does not matter as much. There's like so much bigger things that you should be looking at. And I love this whole thing. And yeah, I think we're gonna like wrap this whole thing up. Like how I usually like to end this is by asking like one last thing, that a thing that you're thinking a lot about that you really want to talk about. Yeah, anything can be anything. Yeah.
Anything.
Right.
I feel like, to wrap it up, I feel like we mostly hit, the most important points
Right.
about how anyone can feel in a relationship or in a friendship or just life in general. I feel like that's important for people to know, to just be yourself, be happy, and don't put yourself down. No one deserves to be unhappy.
Yeah.
I know it's hard. It's going to take work, but you can pull through.
Right.
So as long as you
Cool.
put in the effort.
Cool. And I think where we're going is that everyone is worthy. Don't find yourself too unworthy for like anything. And yeah, that's it for this
Yeah.
show. Thank you for joining me to do this whole show together, man. Yeah, it's super fun,
No
and
problem.
I
Thank you
hope,
for asking me.
yeah, I hope you have fun. I hope you have fun.
Thank you. I hope you have a good rest of your day or night.
Yeah,
I don't know what
cool,
time is it for you.
cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. Peace.
All right. Thanks, Jake. Jack. Bye.
Bye.
Good rest of your day or night. I don't know what time is
Yeah,
it for
cool,
you. Yeah.
cool. Thank you.
All
Peace.
right. Thanks, Jake. Jack. Bye. Aw. Jack was such a nice guy. I'm sorry, you guys. I felt like that was good. I felt like that was good for me to meet him. A lot. Chad did not recommend me. I don't even think he could have seen the chat, Odin. Odin, do you actually have a YouTube? Oh, poor Odin. Listen, it's okay. I still see